Welcome back to Fantasy Breakouts. We are back from the winter cold. Hello. Time to break out some W's, as Pat just said. I think that's going to be our theme. But yeah, Pat's back. We're back. We're thinking about football already. And if you are, then you're a dedicated person too. So we're thinking about post free agency. The teams that have set themselves up to have a lot of fantasy starters, teams that can be a dependable pool to go to during drafts this upcoming year. And obviously things will change after the draft, but we had a crazy free agency, so we want to just keep these changes in mind going into the draft, the rookie draft, that is. So Pat, how you doing?
Not too bad, man. You know, you talk about this winter thing. I'm foreign to that. We don't do that no more. Yeah, man, it's about April. Some people think it's early, but we got the draft coming up. We got training camp coming around the corner. It's about that time, So new year, Eric got me last time. We forgot about that, so I said out loud. So that's cool. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's get into this, man.
All right, so let's go over, Pat, who is your third favorite fantasy offense going into 2022 season?
Man, right now, and there's been a lot of moving. This is probably one of the most crazy off seasons ever. But one team, if I'd rate my third most fantasy team right now, I personally think it was the Colts. Some people like the Colts. Ugh, look at Matt Ryan is not washed up. Matt Ryan was in a bad system. Matt Ryan had nothing around him. He had Kyle Pitts, and that's it. And all you got to do is double Kyle Pitts. The biggest fault for them is they haven't had a normal quarterback. Yes, that's including you, Carson. Matt Ryan can still throw the ball. And how I look at this is he's at this point in his career, he's at a better point than when Philip Rivers went there, period. I mean, we can sit there and say he at least 2-3 years on top of him. That's why I look at it. Sure. And people are going to have to respect Jonathan Taylor. I think T.Y. is coming back. They only got the one tight end retired. I get them mixed up, but one of them retired. So I just think that Matt Ryan's he's going to throw the ball around. And also, I mean, they got the guy, you guys heard him, right? Michael Pittman, right? And it's crazy because we haven't had a full season for Michael Pittman to this point, and I think that we're going to get that this year. He's got a stable quarterback. They can just throw the ball, So if number 3, Colts.
Yeah, I like it. And you have somebody that could really break out, Mo Alley Cox, if he actually got some passes. Yeah, and they didn't just use him for running plays. So I like that. That was on my mind. I think number 3 for me, I don't want to overthink this one. They just lost Amari Cooper, but I think Dallas has enough ammunition. Put up 31.2 points a game last year. I think we forget about that. The defense really isn't looking any better. They just shelled out, obviously every year. Here's Zeke. Here's a fifth of our money, so they don't have money to sign defensive guys. So they just lost Randy Gregory. So the more that defense gives up, the more they're going to be Dak's going to be chucking it downfield. So we have CeeDee Lamb. I mean, we haven't really looked at our rankings, but is he a second round pick this year? Maybe, who knows?
I agree with you. He's got to be, because the big thing of CD is bro, he doesn't get attempts, right? There's no excuses this year. I'm going to draft him high because that's the upside he has, but yeah, this is that make or break, And I agree. I like that, man. Their defense, people love this dude. I don't get it. Diggs, he's just a thirst bucket.
Yeah.
He's just a thirst bucket. There's no, simply put, you're a thirst bucket. Not a good cover. You just get interceptions, but you get burnt 3 times as much. And the film shows it, So, I mean, that's the ball hawk he play. He's worse than Marcus Peters by far. That's the crazy part, because that's the biggest knock on Marcus Peters. Man, gets a billion picks, but no.
Yeah. Even if they have a big lead, they're probably going to blow it. And then we're going to be throwing it downfield. We're going to have Gallup probably, what are they saying? They might be saying first month he might be out.
Easily. At the worst. And even, ACLs are different for everybody. Just because he's back doesn't mean he's back. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I can still see them dispersing it. Schultz, like you said. What else we got?
Schultz and Pollard's just always solid. and Zeke and Pollard, it's a problem to, figure out. But if Zeke really falls, I'll grab him in the maybe third, fourth round. But Pollard maybe a couple of rounds after that. And
I read an interesting article talking about Zeke like before his PCL. Yeah, but if you guys watch this, Eric's been on this for like 5 years. He's talking about how this man's yards per carry, this has gone down every single year, and the trend continues. So, but yes, defense bad. I mean, shootout, Dak can still throw. Now this is going to be interesting, Eric, because I feel like I don't know, man. We'll see. This is really going to see if Dak's worth Dak, because I feel like Amari Cooper was his safety blanket type thing, if it makes sense. Like I feel like he feels like he's Mr. Dak with Amari. We'll see if he's still Dak.
They're not as deep. They're not as deep now, so that's the problem.
Wilson also left. Like
he's pretty solid. I mean, when nobody cares about him, nobody's watching him, he'll make some plays. But
that man's quick.
We'll see. That's the problem. If they have some injuries, it could get a little dicey. But I like him. Number 3, Pat. Who's your number 2 offense that you want to get a handful of players, couple players from on your leagues?
If I don't know if you've been keeping up with the news, but they talking about Melvin going to the Ravens.
Hey,
that's all we wanted. Melvin, good luck. I don't wish bad things upon you. I just want you out of Denver for obvious reasons. That's it. But if I'm them, or I'm telling them, hey, honestly, Melvin, we don't need you. We got the boy. Yes, they trade Noah Fant, but Noah Fant's hurt half the year, if you guys haven't noticed. Always hurt. The man does not play in the cold well. He's soft as shit, even though he played at Iowa. It's weird. But they got Albert Oben. Yep, that guy. Once again, this is another make or break. If Jerry Jeudy does not do anything with Russell Wilson, consider him a bust. Consider him gone. I don't care how well run. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to be his Tyler Lockett person. That's why I see that in him. So, and you got to think Tim Patrick, Cortland Sutton. They got some options, So I think that whole offense, and Russ is really, and you got to think the whole thing. The only reason why Russ is so frustrated because they let the man do his thing for 8 weeks, and then you think, we're a hard-nosed running back. We got to put points on the board. Our defense is not good. And then they expect Russ to stay in this cruise control until fourth quarter and make Russ happen. It doesn't happen like that. It's you're playing you're gambling. So I think any kind of money Russ told them, look, as long as I come over here, y'all let me throw the ball, we cool. And that's going to open
everything. They're totally fine with that. They've had 8 years of crap. So
ever since Peyton Manning, they haven't had a quarterback.
They just added to their offensive line Quinn Miners, that rookie that is very good, as a backup now. And then, if Mike Boone is fantasy relevant again, if, we'll talk about my Vikings again.
Yeah, you love Mike Boone. So
Mike Boone, playoff Mike Boone.
That'll be my number 2, man. So what you got for number 2?
All right, good pick. I like that. Okay, so the Bills, obviously, again, top 3 offense last year, putting up points just constantly. Had maybe a little bit of a lull for a couple of weeks, but otherwise just great season last year. Brian Daboll credited with fixing Josh Allen. You okay? Brian Daboll credited with fixing Josh Allen. How raw he was coming into the league. He goes to the Giants now, so that's a little questionable, but Ken Dorsey was his quarterback coach that whole time, Josh Allen's quarterback coach, so he's OC now. And Ken Dorsey, remember him from the Devin Hester teams and stuff. He was on those good Miami teams. But I would expect them to still be aggressive. That's what it's all about. They just have to be aggressive. Have Josh Allen run. They didn't end up getting McKissick. I like that for Diggs. I like that for Knox. I like that for Gabe Davis. Like I just don't like McKissick. What he does to the offense sometimes. It's just like you start relying on him in the flat and your offense gets boring. But I think Dawson Knox, he could really jump into like the top 3-4 tight end this year. I don't know. Do you like that? Do you still think the Bills will be consistent, put up points that?
Yeah. I don't even care about dude leaving. Josh Allen's in his bag. He's comfortable. He's confident. Period.
Yeah, he's matured enough.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. Now, with that being said, Eric, is Josh Allen #1 drafted quarterback right now off the board?
He is number one. He is number one on
No, I'm not asking. I don't care about the
position.
rate. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
I think I would have to. I really don't take quarterbacks early like that, so I'll never get him. You know, I mean, he'd really have to fall to probably like end of third for me to touch him, which I don't think he will. I would say yes. What about you? Who are you thinking?
Yeah, probably. But I'm starting to move away from that. I honestly, personally think that I'm gonna sit on quarterbacks because there's so many and there's a lot of variables with that. But I do think he'll end up at least top 3 minimum. So if you do draft that quarterback, there's way bigger losses. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think anything's hurting. I Dawson Knox, man, if he can stay healthy, I can see that like being like our modern day Gronk almost, just because it's so touchdown. Like, man, get 3 catches. Mm-hmm. I can see him 3 for 18 and 3 touchdowns type thing easily. And Gabe Davis, that's a sleeper. A lot of people don't realize. I mean, he had that great game in Kansas City, yada yada. But there's still some people that are going to be passing up this and this. I like you guys because 7th, 8th round, I see. I'll take him because I think he's worth that personally.
He's right now going around wide receiver 35. I think this is like best ball rankings and stuff, but 35.
What round is that, you think? Like a 12 team?
That's probably 6, 7, something like that.
10 team, yeah. So yeah, same thing. Yeah, that's why I would figure it out. I mean, that's a gamble, man. That's a safe gamble. I agree with that. And their defense is their defense. I was so surprised they gave Vaughn the bag.
Yeah.
Where did you get that? I'm thinking he gonna get like 3 years, 80 million, 55 games. They gave this man $140.
I don't understand it with him, but
where did you find that at? It is gonna be interesting. They're gonna be
he's got a good
2-3 years from now, they're gonna be screwed. There ain't no way.
Yeah.
They just signed Diggs again. Like, they're gonna be screwed. A couple years, 2-3 years down the road, they're gonna be making some real business decisions. Because Dawson Knox is gonna be showing up at the door, like, where my bread at? Like, they're like the Chiefs 3 years ago. That's how I look at them, and that's exactly what's gonna happen. Something.
I saw Diggs is going like middle or early 3rd round now. So last year people were taking him end of first.
End of first, yep.
End of first, early 2nd.
If need be, I'll take him easily, but I don't know if I'm going to do that because they spread the ball so much, and it's not a diss to him. Like, he's still Diggs. It's just that offense. I feel like, nah. I'll say like 4th for me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about it, but yep. Okay, Pat, we're on to your number one.
Number one.
You're grabbing all the players. You want 2 guys, or you're stacking them in DFS. What's your team?
And then some people might say, "Oh, this is a little biased. Aren't you like a Bears?" No, look, it's got to be the Raiders. Got to be the Raiders. How can you cover them? Somebody tell me. You can't cover them. They're going to put 50 points a week on accident. Literally. You can't cover. Devontae, shaking out your boots. Darren Waller has been the focal point for the offense for 4 years, basically. Like, and people can triple. They can't do that no more. And don't forget about the little studious white boy on the other side. Like, Hunter gonna get his. He's a silent killer. And I think people are really gonna. Josh Jacobs probably will have his best season this year. He's gonna be. And what I mean by that is, like, they don't have to rely on him as much as like they used to. He's gonna get 15 touchdowns, falling in the end zone, 80 yards, 15 touchdowns. Like, he doesn't have to do too much. He's still going to be that bulldozer at the line. Like, I've always liked Josh Jacobs. It's just like offense is weird. And last year they got to a great start. Derek Carr is one of the most slept on quarterbacks in the league. Like, y'all look at his stats, he just had a terrible team. He's always had a terrible team. But I think this is the year now. This is a make or break. I'm putting my eggs in the basket, buddy. So you better go to work. But I think that team is gonna, like I said, average. I think about 35 to 40 personally.
Ooh, Josh Jacobs right now RB 22, so he's behind guys like I like Leonard Fournette better probably, but
yeah.
Connor, Aaron Jones, Montgomery,
Aaron
J.K.
Jones.
Dobbins is higher. I don't think I'd put J.K.
Slap in
Dobbins
the
up high.
face. That's a slap in the face. First of all, they're just talking about, obviously, you guys, let's look beyond that. If they're thinking about bringing Melvin Gordon in, do you think J.K. Dobbins is close? Would you have a good feeling about that if they're?
No. Yeah.
Why would you?
I like him. I like him too.
Yeah. Why would you be looking for somebody if you got J.K.? Like J.K. Dobbins was great 2 years ago, but obviously, and we already know how this goes. We tear your ACL, do anything like that with your knees, man, it takes. Or he tore his Achilles, or was that Gus?
Talking about JK, ACL. I think everybody was ACL.
I thought, whatever, yeah.
All the Ravens.
James.
All the Ravens.
That takes time. They always say the first year, like, oh, okay. And then after that, next year, usually about 18 months, I think it is roughly. Then you start, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's your mental thing. It's not physical, it's your mental, you know.
What if I throw in there? I mean, how clean do you think it'll be? I guess it's really just Devontae Adams in the mix. It's not, I mean, they got Demarcus Robinson, but yeah, they didn't really add not a lot of changes, right?
So Zay Jones left. Remember, he's in Miami.
Yeah, same quarterback.
Jacksonville.
He got paid well too.
Yeah. Interesting.
Told you he was good.
So yeah, would I pick Zay Jones over long neck DJ Shark?
No.
They basically paid this. He got 1 year,
not
$10
much
million
better
from the who they get. Like it, he got Zay Jones got more money than him. That's the bro. Jacksonville just had money and didn't know what to do with it. That's how I look at it. Like, oh, we made.
Let's not talk about Jacksonville.
I'm sorry, I'm on a tangent.
But yeah, you think there'll be maybe a little bit of a slow start, or you think they're just going to get going? The Raiders offense.
Nope.
Fast start.
Off the jump. Okay.
I
think, yeah, him and Devontae went to school together, bro. There's a reason why he chose him over A-Rod. Like,
I saw the one stat line was so nasty. It was like 246 and 3 touchdowns in one game. It's like,
need I say more? Like, I don't know. Like, it's done. It's done.
So, yeah, I'm hoping for it.
With all that, Eric, who's your number one offense you look forward to?
All right. Could be a little biased because I got, some T. Higgins love at the end of the season. But man, the Bengals just fixed up their whole right side of their offensive line. They just spent a lot of money and got some studs, Lyle Collins, Alex Kappa. I mean, he kept Tom Brady pretty clean, didn't he, for a while? So Joe Mixon, we hate him or love him. I think he's still young enough. I still love him, man. I think he's still in that second, third round. I'm not touching him in the first round. So maybe I won't get him because of that. He's number 7 right now, running back. So that's probably second. Javonte? That's probably second round. Over Javonte without Melvin Gordon, I'm gonna say no to that. I'm gonna go Javonte Williams. So okay. So good things, offensive line. Obviously, Chase and Higgins. Last year I could have drafted them both. I had that opportunity, and I kind of wish I did. I didn't think that would be a good move, but what would I would have looked like if I did that? Hayden Hurst is their tight end, though, so I think they might draft somebody. If they don't, then that makes Tyler Boyd to me usable. Azuma, obviously, he had a lot of work. He had a really good season last year.
Yep, exactly.
So yeah, maybe a little bit more Boyd this season if they don't draft a tight end, and then Mixon and Higgins back at it. Defense is not good. They gave up 27 points a game last year, and they just re-signed Eli Apple. They suck on defense. So, I mean, they get to the Super Bowl, so they got enough of a pass rush. But, man, this is great for fantasy. I love it.
It is, right? That's a perfect formula.
Yep, it's perfect. So maybe they'll grab a tight end and a cornerback in the draft.
So where would you take?
I love them.
What's your number one offense, Eric? Where would you take? So you got Mixon, which is late second, early third.
Mixon, yeah, he's got it. You got to pick him in the second. You're not getting him early, probably early second.
What about Chase?
Chase, I'd say he's probably end of the first. I think he is end of the first, and I think Higgins is probably early third. I don't know. I want to see where Higgins is actually. What do you think? Because hang on. Let me look at it.
I think Chase is going to be back first, early second.
Higgins is 12 wide receiver 12 right now.
Damn.
So he's behind Mike Evans. I love how Mike Evans is looking for next year, volume wise. He's behind Hopkins, behind Hill, and then these other guys. I think there are no brainers. He's ahead of guys like Keenan Allen. He's ahead of Metcalf. He's ahead of Deontay Johnson. He's ahead of Waddle. That seems pretty normal. Michael Thomas is in that range. I don't think I trust him.
I think Higgins in that I feel more comfortable taking that. I don't know, bro. So what is that, like late
Mike Evans or him? What do you think? Pretty close.
You got Brady.
He's getting a little bit up there.
No Antonio Brown. No, bro. That's because Higgins can go crazy. I think at the end of they're gonna be like 20-point difference. So I really don't think he'll lose with that. But personally, I like because I've had Higgins for a few years and I got him in Dynasty League. So I'm gonna take Higgins. The only thing about Higgins and Mike Evans is because the man could put up 31 week and he'll have 6. And he does that. And it's not like he's gonna get his 1,000 yards. He's had 1,000 yards his whole career. Like he's gonna get his 1,000 yards. Like you don't have to worry about that. It's just that I'd rather have the steady Eddie compared to this. That's the only reason.
Especially if you're getting maybe like a Dalvin Cook or McCaffrey that gets often injured, you want to have maybe a steady guy. Whereas maybe if your first couple picks are more safe, then
risky,
maybe go
high risk,
Evans.
low reward, or high reward type shit.
Maybe balance it out a little bit.
Exactly.
Really close for me. I had the Vikings with Justin Jefferson could win the MVP this year. I think that's a real thing. I think it's a real thing.
I love Jets.
I had the Raiders to close.
Who
Chargers.
Would you pick? Hell.
Okay.
Jets or Chase?
I think I'll go Jefferson for sure.
I love Jefferson.
The coach, man. I mean, he just did what with Cooper Kupp, and I think Justin Jefferson's fat. Maybe I don't know. Okay, I don't want to get in that debate, but he's very talented. He's very talented. He's like Kupp. I'm going to say that. I think he can fill that role because he's going to be the slot guy.
I think people don't realize if Justin Jefferson would have had 5 more touchdowns, how much he would have moved up. Justin Jefferson he would always get you 100 yards and no touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
Like this
no,
man.
That won't be a problem. That will not be a problem this year, I don't think.
He is finally admitted, like, Adam, we'll bring you back, but listen. It's like
that's why I didn't put the Vikings top 3 for sure. Just Thielen's been missing so many games every year, 5-6 games a year.
But that's and remember when the big debate when the Thielen and Diggs were there? It's like who's the better? He gets open. No matter who Jefferson is the guy. Like he's gonna be open. Just look, he'll be open. The man's a pure route runner. Like man just has. It's mad, like no homo, like
it's magical.
Like this dude be slicing and dicing you, like I think him and Devontae Adams are my favorite personal receivers. Just how they roll, like they be fucking people up. Tyreek is just fast as shit, crackheads. And so would you pick him over Tyreek Hill?
Oh yeah, I don't know.
How you feel about
maybe it's early, but I'm a little bit on the Tyreek Hill's short. He's getting older train, and I don't know if I want to get on that train and spend a lot of capital on that. But I think when Pat says they're magical, I think we should wrap up the video. But we'll get into this. We'll be looking at. It's a good.
Did that, not me. Pause.
Yeah, Justin Jefferson's magical. We'll end on that, but. Be sure to subscribe, please. Like the video, comment, let us know what you thought of the video. If our picks were any good, what should we be looking out for? Like, what do we miss? Teams that have people we're probably not going to touch this season. Coming at you soon. Yeah.
All right, y'all be smooth. Till next time.
Thank you.